Oh, thank you very much. My name is Dustin Lance Black, and I just want to share with you my personal story of why I think it's so important to recognize a Harvey Milk Day in California. You see, I grew up in a very conservative environment with heterosexual parents in a church in an atmosphere that condemned homosexuality. And I heard that word a lot growing up, and a lot of other more colorful, more hateful words with the same meaning. And like many LGBT people, I knew that I was gay from a very early age, so that also meant that I knew that I was less than my fellow students in school. I knew that I was wrong, and that according to my church, I was right down there with all the sinners and the murderers and the rapists, all 3'4" of me at 6 years old. And I had two options. I could shrink, I could not excel, and I could keep from being noticed. I could vanish. Or I could take a more permanent solution, and that was to take my own life. And that's not a unique story. Even today, one out of every 3 LGBT kids seriously contemplates suicide. And they are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide than their straight brothers and sisters, and 9 times more likely if they don't come from supportive homes. And for those who do come out, the ones who do come out to their families, 26% are told to leave home. That's today. But that's not how my story ended. I was one of the lucky ones. When I was 14 years old, a theater director in a Bay Area theater company out here told me the story of Harvey Milk, the story of an out gay man who stood up to prejudice and bigotry, lived openly, was elected to public office, and lit the fire for today's national and global LGBT civil rights movement. Not surprisingly, that story gave me hope. And for the first time in many years, I did not think about taking my own life. And I did not cry myself to sleep on Sabbath nights. And I started to dream again. And I stopped trying to vanish, and I started trying to excel. But I never heard a peep about Harvey Milk in school, never a single word about any LGBT person of any consequence. It took that turn of luck to hear his story. It took a turn of luck to save my life, and that is wrong. You see, unlike many other minorities, most LGBT kids aren't born into families with gay or lesbian parents. That's how it is. We don't have parents who can personally understand the inspiration, pride, and steely worth needed to survive as a sexual minority in the world today. We as LGBT people are unique, and we must learn about and be inspired by our minority role models outside of our homes. That is why it's so vitally important that we ensure young LGBT people have the opportunity to learn that they had a forefather who loved them for who they are, fought for them, and was even willing to give his own life to ensure that they might have better lives today. That man was Harvey Milk. The truth is, passing a Harvey Milk Day in California cost this state nothing. Not passing it has a heavy cost. It will cost countless people a shot at their healthy self-esteem, a shot at their dreams, and for many, many more, it could literally cost them their lives. I sit here in front of you today, living proof that simply knowing the story of Harvey Milk is life-saving. But we can no longer depend on luck. It is our moral obligation to encourage our schools and our great state's citizens to celebrate and share in the life-saving story of one of our country's greatest heroes, Mr. Harvey Bernard Milk, by creating this day in his honor. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you.